Cozy Kinn! Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Courtney. I make a lot of cozy content around hobbies, home decor, DIYs, you name it. Also, tell me what you think about the name Cozy Kinn for our community. We're fast approaching 10K, so I cannot be more thankful for all of you guys. So I think it's long overdue that we have an appropriate name for our community, so let me know in the comments down below what you think of Cozy Kinns. Back to the project, this is something I have been waiting for. I'm sure you guys have seen the popular TV frame going around, but if you didn't want to spend several $100, this is the DIY project for you. And if you didn't know here, the budget is a little to non-existent, so this is the perfect DIY because it's under $50. So this is going to be the easiest and budget-friendly way to elevate the look of your TV. So let's get started. To start off, I picked out my trim boards from Lowe's. I knew I wanted like a lower profile, not over the top design, and this was perfect. I have a 55-inch TV, so I got two boards for a total of $35. You're also going to need a pack of corner brackets to help brace the corners, and this was under $3. Initially, I was worried because the screws were longer than the thickness of the boards, but it did end up working out, so just something to watch out for your project. I also had some leftover elastic banding from a sewing project, but you could easily pick this up at a craft store. Thickness of the band should not matter, however I found thin banding was easier to work with when adjusting the frame on your TV. And this is totally optional, but you could use a tube of rub and buff for a more antique finish. However, I decided to stick with some leftover spray paint that would give me a similar bronze color effect. Arguably the most important step, measuring a million times to cut once. You're going to want to measure this in a way where the length and width of your TV equates to the shortest length and width of the 45-degree angle cut. By doing this, the frame will lay flat against your TV. If you don't do this, you may have to build a top brace because the size of the frame opening is the same size as your TV. It can be done, however, you would need to be very precise on your cuts to pull this off. I made my cuts and now I'm going to paint. These are the two spray paints I'm using. The base color will be this paint from Rust-Oleum. The shade is Sunlit Brass, and then I'm going in with Krylon Metallic Gold. Just lightly feathering this on top to give some definition. These dried within 15 minutes and total painting took no longer than 30 minutes overall. For the next step, you'll need a drill and stapler gun or similar. Install your corner brackets on each side. If you find gaps between your corners, use caulk or wood putty and finish off with a little more paint to give it a more cohesive look. For the banding, place these inward enough so that you minimize the risk of the band popping off. If you don't have a stapler gun, you could also try using screws or nailing them into place. Now I am dry fitting to make sure all looks good. I didn't spend extra time earlier perfecting the look of this because I knew adjustments were to be made. So now, knowing how it looks on your TV, make any adjustments or additional cutting or painting to finish off the complete look. And here's the final look, an easy weekend project that added so much charm to my home. Love how it broke up the white brick in the background and the stark black screen blended into the rest of my traditional home decor. There are so many ways to personalize this to your liking. However, if you are interested in the exact items I've used, they will be linked down in the description below, so you can just add it to your cart and get started on this project just like that.